Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another full body workout, and still rehabbing the muscle pull in my lower back. And I probably should make a separate video on that because people are actually out there addressing, saying that I'm injured and hurt or whatever. And it's like, guys, it's a muscle pull. It's a muscle pull. I'm still training through it. It's not going to take me like 3 months or anything to recover from it. I'm just having to go light, work on technique, and just keep loading that area without re-aggravating it. Now I will say with the front squats today, I went ahead and went up to 225 today because I've just been slowly working these back up for the past week, and they were completely pain-free with 185. Now I will say when I went to 225, I did feel a little bit of cramping down through my left erector that kind of went all the way over to the oblique and everything. But again, what I would expect for a pull director, and so I'm just going to slowly work it back up. And like I said, I think I'm going to focus on front squats for a while because, I mean, again, everyone can argue about my squat form and everything else, and I think where people are confusing, they're getting the hip drive confused with a bit of thoracic rounding, and I'm going to work on correcting the thoracic rounding, but hip drive is just an intrinsic part of any heavy squat. I'm sorry, almost everyone out there who squats over 500 pounds has hip drive. And I think people are confusing those two a little bit. So yes, your hips are going to come up a little bit faster on a really heavy squat, sometimes in your back, and that's okay, that's normal. But as far as the thoracic rounding goes, again, just my upper back work, combined with things like these front squats, work on these front squats for a while, and I'll just keep building my leg strength or retain my legs on this cut with front squats, and I'll build my front squat up, and I'll probably be able to focus on deadlifting a little more. Once my back is better, keep working that hook grip and maybe just focus on front squat and hook grip deadlifts for my lower body development for a little while. And I think that will probably be the way to go as far as that goes for now. And again, just getting that somewhat upright position, and then I'll switch back over to a high bar squat later and take it from there. But in the meantime, that's going to let me specialize in the press. Because I feel like at this point in the game, really specializing in the press is what I want to do for a while. I feel like it will give me tremendous benefit as far as all my goals go, as far as just strength, it being an all-around badass lift, and just building my whole shoulder girdle and upper chest and triceps and all of that. So again, I'm going to need more of that as I cut. And so even if we argue I'm not going to gain much muscle in that area during the cut, training that movement pattern over and over and over will make me strong at it, so that when I am no longer cutting and maybe I go to maintenance calories later, when I get down under 200 pounds, I think it's going to have tremendous carryover there because I'm going to have built a lot of work capacity in that area and on that exercise. And I think that's going to have a tremendous benefit. And I'll probably at a certain point even work in greasing the groove for it. Right now I'm doing pull-ups on my off days. I just try to squeeze in 20 pull-ups on most of my off days just from a dead hang. Because again, I feel like I need the extra back work. Since I'm not deadlifting due to my lower back strain, I'm not deadlifting right now. And so I probably need the extra back work. Otherwise, I would probably do the greasing the groove with the press. But again, my biceps need the work, my back needs the work, everything else. So I'm just going to keep doing the pull-ups for now. And, maybe later on I'll specialize in pull-ups a bit more. Again, maybe when I feel like my biceps and stuff need more work. But as far as all that goes right now, doing the greasing the groove on the pull-ups is going to give my biceps, rear delt, back, and all that a little extra work. Again, some of that pulling will be good for just keeping my strength balanced through my shoulder girdle. Even though the press does work the rear delts considerably more than most other pressing exercises, it would be a good idea to just keep that area strong. And the pull-ups are going to do that. And I do feel like my posterior and side delts probably could stand to be bigger anyways. And so again, I might want to put some extra work in there later also. But again, the press will help with that. So probably more face pulls when that becomes an issue. I just feel like right now, even when I'm doing the face pulls, I'm not going to gain any real muscle in that area. And it's not like it's an exercise with a movement pattern that you can really develop and train the same as some other lifts. So I'm just kind of being lazy with those at the moment. I'm really putting my efforts into really the pull-ups and the press at this point. Because the front squat, I'm just rebuilding back up. The close grip is just kind of a static exercise right now on my cut. I'm not really progressing on it because I can't. due to the weight loss. And people need to understand I'm down 46 pounds and I'm still cutting. there's a threshold to where your bench just is not going to go up when you're doing that. And we have to accept those limitations. And people can say, oh, you're just accepting that. No, it's not. It's not a matter of accepting it. It's a matter of my body simply will not let me add any more weight or any more reps. You know, when I bump the weight up, I lose reps. It's just that simple. When I stick with the same weight, I can't add reps. And there's not much I can do about that short of blasting gear or increasing my calories. Again, I'm cutting. It's just normal. I have to live with it. But I feel like putting extra effort into the press and the pull-ups, considering, you know, the aesthetic benefits of cutting. And again, people care about that. Yeah, it's good for my potential YouTube career. It's good for my potential YouTube career, and everything's growing. My subscribers continue to go up. The ad revenue is dramatically higher than it has ever been per view on my channel the last few months, and it's just been slowly trickling up. So, I mean, it's working. But I mean, I'm not going to go away from my core principles. Yes, I'm going to change body composition, but even then, as guys are seeing, even though I have areas I need to bring up that would probably make me more money to look a certain way, I'm not going to go against my principles to do that, which means it's still going to be big exercises. It's still going to be moderately heavy to heavy weight, you know, fine, weighted pull-ups, overhead presses, things like that. I'm not going to really be doing a bunch of fluff and pump or that stuff because it kind of goes against the ideas of what I'm about. And as far as the fat loss goes, it's just a matter of diet. It's a matter of controlling calories. It's a matter of consuming more protein, you know, using extra vegetables and stuff to fill up. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, so the training principles are still going to stay the same around here with that, even though the channel is going to continue to grow and I'm continuing to look better by people's standards who judge that stuff. I'm still training for the most part like a strength athlete, right? We're still training like a strength athlete, but we're just putting more focus in exercises that are more likely to put muscle on in areas that I realistically need to put muscle on. Again, shoulders, upper chest, triceps, things like that, right? Those are areas that could always stand to come up for people chasing that look. So it's not a bad thing. And again, there's some strength benefit from that. Those exercises will carry over to other stuff I'm doing. But the thing is, the press is in and of itself just an all-around badass lift. You know, that's one of those lifts that I'd consider going and competing in strength lifting just because it's the only sport that has the press in it. You know, and it's a lift that I really like and I really appreciate. In fact, I value it more than the bench press. I really do. Even though I like the closed grip bench press, I think the closed grip bench press is a fantastic upper body builder. I just feel like the press is an all-around badass lift. And so, yeah, specializing in it right now, which as you guys can see, today was 5x5 with the press, and then I dropped down to 135 and did an AMRAP. Now, my AMRAP didn't go very high because this 5x5 was fairly heavy for me. The fifth set was pretty challenging. So by the time I got to that AMRAP set, I think I only got 7 reps. That's all I had. You know, it is what it is. You got to live with it. You have to live with these things. But that's a fair amount of volume, considering I'll probably come back and do the same thing again in 2 days. It's a lot of volume. It's a whole lot of volume. So yeah. Where are we at there? This is set 4. So everything's still going strong there. But I noticed that 5th set, I was definitely feeling the weight. It felt just heavier when I unracked it. I remember on the 4th set thinking, when I walked up and just squeezed the bar and unracked it, I'm like, wow, this feels light. And that's a pro tip for you guys who are trying to get strong at the press. A lot of guys are like, man, how'd you get your press up to 225? You know, with a pause off the chest and everything. A lot of it has to do with those middle cues. Pulling that bar in tight. That's part of the layback, is so that you can avoid your face easier. So you can bring it into your upper chest. You can get it up above the collarbone, and then you press it overhead and then bring your head forward. But a lot of that too is gripping that bar. I squeeze the shit out of that bar when you unrack it. And when you do, it feels so much lighter. Like people are like, oh man, it feels weird to the heavy weight racked back in my hand a little bit. It shouldn't, because you're not squeezing the bar tight enough. If it feels heavy on your wrists or heavy in your hands like that, it feels like it's bending it back when you grab it like that. You're not squeezing the bar hard enough. Squeeze it harder and that will go away. And again, there's benefits to your neuromuscular efficiency for doing that too. So yeah, I think I ended up getting 7 with this AMRAP. So overall, the pressing was productive today, which is what I care about the most at the moment. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.